Hey there, quirky people. Today we're going to imagine the future of Sony Pictures' universe of Marvel characters.
Welcome, Spider-Man. Welcome to the jungle.
Particularly, I'm going to talk about what's next for Venom. He is currently taking on his biggest foe, which is none other than Carnage.
Oh, shit!
Where you going? That is a red one! You need to come out right now.
But I believe that Venom has a long way to go from here on out. He could be a part of several team-ups and battles. We could end up seeing many other characters in the Venomverse. But before we get to know what Sony plans to do in the future, I'm coming up with my own ideas about what I'd like to see in the upcoming Venom franchise films. And I know that my first wish will be common with literally every other Venom and MCU fan. I'd like to see Venom vs. Spider-Man.
Hey, Parker.
Right from the first Venom movie, everyone from Sony and everyone who was related to Venom had been talking about a Venom and Spidey encounter. Director Ruben Fleischer stated that Venom vs. Spider-Man had always been a plan for Venom 3. Then in 2019, Kevin Feige announced that Spider-Man will be the first hero with the power to hop universes. Recently, Tom Hardy was pretty adamant about getting Spider-Man into the proceedings for the future. And then Venom 2 director Andy Serkis also confirmed that Venom and Spider-Man will definitely meet on the big screen. Now with the multiverse, the MCU can obviously make this happen for sure. In fact, No Way Home should bring Spider-Man into the Sony Pictures universe of Marvel characters. And then, Venom 3 could pit Spider-Man against Venom. I know that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are also returning as Spider-Man. But all the hype has been about Tom Holland's Spider-Man going up against Tom Hardy's Venom. So I believe that is what will satisfy us all. After these two give us a battle of the ages, I believe that we should see a Venom team up with Spider-Man.
That's what I call teamwork.
I know that it is sort of cliche for protagonists to fight each other and then team up at the end. Warner Bros. Did it in Batman vs. Superman and used the same formula in Godzilla vs. Kong. And now I'd like it if Sony and Marvel use it in Venom 3. After making these two fight for half a movie, it would be really amazing if Spider-Man teams up with San Francisco's infamous anti-hero. Maybe Carnage lets loose once again and these two have to take him on. That battle would be a dream come true, don't you think? And after that, Venom should get his comic-accurate spider symbol.
And we are going to end this once and for all.
So far, it has been nice that Venom has not met with Spider-Man. Detachment from the web-slinger has allowed him to grow as his own separate parasite.
I have a parasite. Yeah. Name is Chen.
Parasite?
Yeah, it's a term of endearment, that's all.
Apologize!
No.
But now that he is supposed to encounter Peter Parker, maybe Venom could switch hosts for a while. I know that we saw this in Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 3, and it didn't turn out to be a successful move. But maybe it could happen differently in the future. Peter could be the host of the Venom symbiote for a short while, and that would allow Venom to gain Spider-Man's abilities too, because symbiotes are able to absorb and retain the abilities of their former hosts. So when Venom returns to Eddie Brock, he'd have a whole new upgrade, and he could even take a liking to the spider symbol, and get a big one for himself. Up next, we should also get Venom vs. Toxin. Stephen Graham is playing Patrick Mulligan in Venom There Be Carnage. And it is sort of obvious that he is being set up to become the host of another symbiote named Toxin. He is said to be even stronger and more savage than his father Carnage. So maybe we're going to see Toxin be the symbiote villain of Venom 3. Venom will obviously have to take him on for sure, but I'd like to mix this point with the previous ones. What if Carnage somehow survives this film? Maybe Venom finds a way to lock him up. That would allow him to return in Venom 3. And as Venom teams up with Spider-Man, Carnage and Toxin could form their own team, giving us the greatest tag team match in the history of cinema. Besides these crossovers, I'd love to see one involving Venom, Morbius, and KRAVEN.
KRAVEN, the Hunter.
You have to keep in mind that Sony is not building a Spider-Verse, and they are not building a solo Venomverse either. It is a universe involving characters like Jared Leto's Morbius and Aaron Taylor Johnson's KRAVEN. So I believe that they should also get the spotlight after they make their debuts. And what's the point of having a shared universe if you never make crossover films? I mean, Sony should not take a page out of Walter Hamada's DCEU. They should take the Kevin Feige route and give us a crossover event that involves Venom, Morbius, and KRAVEN. Rumor has it that Eddie Brock will make a cameo in the upcoming Morbius movie. So I guess a big crossover is already being set up. The Venomverse unites against KNULL. The mega event that I've just proposed should involve a Thanos-level big bad as well. So here in the Sony universe, a villain that big has to be none other than the Symbiote God KNULL. He was born of the Dark Abyss, housed in between the 6th and 7th cosmos. And he created the first symbiote, which is the all-black Necrosword that we'd see in Thor: Love and Thunder. Sony's universe may have to slash the Necrosword out, but it could still bring in KNULL as the creator of all symbiotes. And on the hero's side, we could see a union of all important characters that Sony owns. Venom, Morbius, and KRAVEN would have to team up. But their team could also include Spider-Woman, since she is getting her own movie very soon. By the time we get to this crossover event, Sony could introduce other characters like Madam Web, Nightwatch, and Jackpot as well. It would be amazing to witness the Sony-owned Spider-Man characters come together and battle KNULL and his army. I believe that they should take a trip to the Symbiote planet. Since KNULL is a symbiote god, guess who is going to be in his army? Well, it obviously has to be symbiotes. Riot was going to take a trip back to his planet in Venom 1, and he was going to lead the symbiotes to Earth. So instead of waiting for the symbiote army to arrive on Earth, we could see these anti-heroes team up and take the fight to their home turf.
Venom, get in the rocket! No!
They could lead an attack to KNULL. And here we'd see some crazy symbiotes including Phage, Scorn, and maybe a hybrid of multiple symbiotes. Just the look of the symbiote planet Clinter could be something very unique and different. So I guess it has to show up in a future crossover event. Next up, I'd like to see ANTI-VENOM and SHE-VENOM.
Whoa.
The ANTI-VENOM symbiote was created when Eddie Brock's illness was cured by a negative charge given to him by Mr. Negative. This happened when Venom left Eddie Brock and bonded with some other host. The negative charge reacted to the remnants of the Venom symbiote left behind in Eddie's body. So my theory is that maybe in the future, Venom could bond with Anne Weying. That could give us SHE-VENOM for a bit longer than we saw in the first Venom movie. Meanwhile, Eddie Brock could become the white symbiote. Did you know that ANTI-VENOM is actually resistant to fire, heat, and sonic-based attacks? So that would be a nice upgrade for Eddie Brock, don't you think? Next up, I'd like to see Agent Venom.
Always wanted to be the hero. Now, I look the part.
Since I've suggested so much happening with Venom in Sony Pictures' universe of Marvel characters, my next suggestion is going to take place on a different Earth. Flash Thompson used to be Peter Parker's high school bully.
Sorry. Morning, Flash.
But after he lost his legs while serving the US military, he came across the Venom symbiote. As you've seen in Venom, the symbiote is able to fix any deformities in its host, so Thompson's legs were also fixed. He tried to keep Venom under control and eventually became the anti-hero, Agent Venom.
All done! Suit off? Venom away!
Again, you might have seen how cool Agent Venom is in Marvel's Contest of Champions game. Now it is obvious that MCU's Flash Thompson may not be as cool or as badass as Agent Venom needs to be. So this character probably isn't an option for the MCU. But do you remember who played Flash Thompson in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man universe? This guy. With the Raimiverse being brought back into play, Sony could do an Agent Venom spin-off with Joe Manganiello. It may or may not be set in Tobey Maguire's universe. Currently, Manganiello is more interested in portraying Deathstroke than Agent Venom. But if a Deathstroke movie never happens, then an Agent Venom spin-off might just be the way to go. If this idea doesn't excite you, then let me suggest some cosmic hosts for a change. Crossovers with the MCU.
Multiverse is a concept about which we know frighteningly little.
Since Tom Holland's Spider-Man is supposed to make a jump to the Venomverse, I don't see why Venom cannot return the favor. He could be pulled into the Marvel Cinematic Universe and give us some amazing crossovers over there. Apart from bonding with Spider-Man, Venom could go on to bond with characters like Wolverine or Deadpool. A Venom Brine or Venom Pool could prove to be quite catastrophic. But if not these characters, then Venom could go on to bond with Guardians like Rocket or Groot. Or better, he could bond with Captain Marvel. That would create the strongest mashup, don't you think? Well, I've made a whole video about it that you should check out on our channel. And if you like this one, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on our future videos. Okay, that's all for now. Let us know any other crossover ideas that you might have, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!
What just happened?